Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
Girlfriend of 7 years cheated on me with some vegan. My question is why? This is a throwaway since many of my friends and coworkers use Reddit and have added me as a buddy. To be honest, I'm humiliated. Weakness isn't tolerated in my area of work, and I'd be a laughingstock. My age is 32 years. On December 31, 2004, I met my girlfriend, we'll call her Joanne, 29 years old, at a New Year's Eve party. It was practically love at first sight for me. We just chatted for an hour, yet she stayed with me for weeks. I was seeing someone else at the time, and I was still thinking about this seemingly little chat I'd had with Joanne by the second week of January. I informed my current girlfriend at the time that things weren't going to work out. I didn't know whether I'd ever see Joanne again, but in that one discussion, I felt something I'd never felt before. It was a friendly breakup. I told her I liked her, but didn't love her. I attempted to find Joanne via friends and the like. This was before Facebook, and I had never used MySpace. I eventually obtained her phone number, and when I called, she stated she remembered me as well. We spent a lot of time together after I asked her out on a date. Another man in our social circle was interested in Joanne, so we took things slowly. We were evasive about our feelings and didn't even kiss until approximately a month after meeting. Our relationship took off like a rocket after that, and I'd never imagined feeling that way before. We were inextricably linked, and intolerable no doubt. We went everywhere together, and she liked what I did as much as I liked what she did. I'd never met a female who got so rapidly into skiing and surfing, and she loved it. I even got dancing lessons from her and learned how to do the samba. But it hasn't been all sunshine and lollipops, and I'll be the first to confess that we, like any other relationship, have had our issues. We split up around 3 years ago, but were never separated for more than 3 months. We've lived together as well as apart. Whatever occurred, I believed I had been the most rational, kind, and caring boyfriend possible. She became pregnant around a year into our relationship, and I stood by her totally. She claimed she wanted it, and that she couldn't stop it, and I told her I'd be there for her no matter what. I took many weeks off work to be at her side after she miscarried. I assured her that I would be there for her no matter what. When she was forced out of her house because her parents had gone to Australia, I financially helped her until she was able to support herself. These were trying times. It was difficult for both of us, but I believe we matured as a result of it. I had the impression that going through all of this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So on New Year's Eve last year, I proposed to her after bringing her to the location where we first met. It's a pub with a rooftop balcony. I told her that we should check to see if it was open before heading home at 2 a.m. She agreed, but when we arrived, she discovered it was no longer a bar. I was aware of this beforehand, and via my connections, I was able to contact the owner of the music store, who agreed to allow me use his roof. I took her up the fire escape and had the whole roof practically precisely as it appeared that night, which included hiring a giant fish tank and a lot of Christmas lights for PS 600. In the center, there was a table with 2 glasses and a bottle of champagne. I went down on one knee and asked her to marry me, and she said yes while crying. I've been working really hard for the last 6 months. I work in sales, and we have a potentially life-changing transaction that will make the business I work for millions of dollars over the next 5-8 years. I haven't stopped working my hard, and I've warned her it'll be difficult. But I'm doing it for us. If I get it, I promised her, we could have the wedding of our dreams. Well, the previous few months have been tense, but I've finally closed the deal, netting myself a sizable bonus in long-term job security. I was on cloud 9, so I got tickets for Joanne and me to go away and celebrate. Because of my employment, my employer allowed me leave early yesterday, and I felt it would be the ideal time to surprise her. I snuck into the flower store and bought her a bouquet of white roses before going back home for a shower and to change out of my suit. I was driving to her home on top of the world in my white Merc. Work was great, the weather was lovely. I had the ideal surprise for her, and I couldn't wait to tell her. When I arrived, there was a rundown SUV parked outside that I had seen previously but couldn't place. When the door was unnaturally latched, the penny didn't even drop. I opened it and yelled her name, but there was music playing and I didn't get a response. I assumed she was in the shower and made myself a glass of water, as well as some water for the flowers. There was some cheap wine and 2 glasses in the kitchen. Then I heard the bed thud. My heart plummeted as I pulled everything together. I used to believe that the phrase "my heart sunk" was a metaphor, but I truly felt something sink within my chest. It was like riding on one of those theme park bungee rides. I was on the verge of dropping the glass. I went down the steps, and at the bottom were these destroyed old leather boots coated in mud. My face was flushed with wrath. I could hear him calling her as I headed up the stairs. I swung open her bedroom door. She was being in the "I'm not you. You" was her behind. She sprang to her feet, and before I knew it, he was dressed. I recognized him when I glanced at him. It was this guy who operates a vegan cafe close to my house. We'd been there a few times, and she'd gone to a few of his parties with pals. He attempted to justify himself, but I simply ordered him to get the out of here immediately. The guy departed so quickly that he forgot to bring his cheap wine with him. I couldn't believe my eyes. She went over to touch, embrace, or otherwise interact with me, but I just flung her back down on the bed. I told her she was disgusting and left. I walked directly to my vehicle, and she followed me out, pleading for me to listen to her tale. I warned her not to contact me and threw my personal phone out the window. I have one at work. However, it is only accessible to coworkers. I went home, got in the shower, and sobbed. I still can't believe it. I weep more when I think of the connection. I sobbed thinking about the loss, then about my proposal, and then about the first time I met her. I didn't come to work today. I contacted my employer and told him everything. He's a wonderful buddy and one of just 3 individuals who knows. He's informed me that I should take a break from work since I've done more than enough in the previous year. He advised me to wait a week and then see how I felt. She had been banging on my door and phoning my landline, so I disconnected it. My buddy came by earlier after hearing about what occurred with my employer. Many of my pals are concerned. They haven't heard from me and are unable to reach me since I dropped the phone. Edit. Some of you have advised me to get an STD test. I've already scheduled an appointment with my private physician for tomorrow. In terms of further actions, I've just purchased a new smartphone online and stopped all debit payments on my card for her gym membership, business lessons, and so on. I don't believe I'll ask her why. I'm just furious right now. I believe the solution is obvious. She couldn't care enough about me to exercise some discipline. Story 2. Caught the wife cheating. This has been posted on a few different subreddits. I've been wary for a long time, but I was being duped. For years, she has kept her closeness a secret. She said my efforts to foster our connection were needy and that I experienced mood swings. I'm not sure why. When I expressed my suspicions that she had already cheated on me, she would remark, "Your timeline is flawed." It turned out to be exactly on. She took my confidence away and then shouted at me that I used to be confident. We began going to therapy, but to her, it was up to me to do all of the work. I put in the effort, became more confident, and was then informed I was manic. What a mental journey. I unlocked her laptop 6 months ago, lingered over the Reddit username box, and retrieved 4 usernames. There were some dubious items on there, but no confession. For a time, I forgot about it. Last week, before she went to go salsa dancing for the 3rd time, she mentioned something that worried me. I went through her accounts and discovered several admissions. My heart was pounding. I wasn't going to believe it. I placed half of our funds into my bank account surreptitiously. Then I phoned her and told her it was all over. She attempted to dupe me one more time before concluding it was nothing. She returned home one final time simply to get her computer. To protect her reputation, I restored her postings. I'm still reading them. I'll quit one day. I don't miss her at all. She had already left. Her objective was to set me free by dragging me through a divorce while I tried to mend it the whole time. So I booted her out. I'm in mourning, but I'm looking forward to falling in love again in the future. I'm just 38 years old, yet I look 30. Women are already after me, but I'm not prepared. I'd want to resume my musical endeavors. I want to start again with my life. I don't have any children. According to others, I'm beautiful. I went through her accounts and discovered several admissions. My heart was pounding. I wasn't going to believe it. I placed half of our funds into my bank account surreptitiously. Then I phoned her and told her it was all over. She attempted to dupe me one more time before concluding it was nothing. She returned home one final time simply to get her computer. To protect her reputation, I restored her postings. I'm still reading them. I'll quit one day. I don't miss her at all. She had already left. Her objective was to set me free by dragging me through a divorce while I tried to mend it the whole time. So I booted her out. I'm in mourning, but I'm looking forward to falling in love again in the future. I'm just 38 years old, yet I look 30. Women are already after me, but I'm not prepared. I'd want to resume my musical endeavors. I want to start again with my life. I don't have any children. According to others, I'm beautiful. Here's to fresh beginnings. I'm no longer a prisoner, and she didn't get away with it.